I cannot believe it. After so many years of waiting and wondering, Chad Daybell's day in court has finally arrived. April 1st is when Chad Daybell will go on trial for the murder of his wife, the murder of his second wife's two children, conspiracy, a lot of things. We have been waiting for this trial for a long time. His second wife, Lori, was already convicted on all charges, and she is facing a life without parole. The prosecuting attorneys have a different agenda for Chad. There's a lot of complex reasons, but basically the bottom line is his case has the death penalty on the table. Lori's, what the death penalty was taken off because of some things that happened right at the end. She didn't give away her right to a speedy trial, and there were documents that came in after the time that was allotted. So, because of some luckiness on her part, she was spared the death penalty in her case. But Chad, he has not been spared. A lot of the same evidence, I'm sure, will be used during his trial that was used on Lori's. And he's going to have some additional evidence. I'm guessing that he is going to do all he can to spare his life, even if that means coming after his wife, Lori. Now, Lori did not go after her husband, Chad. And I think there's a few reasons for that. I think that there's the possibility that Lori believes and she was drinking the Kool-Aid. Do I think she's got issues? 100%. But she might have believed everything that Chad said was true. So therefore, blah, 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 blah. She went for it.
Let's recap. Her children were missing, and the grandparents reported them missing. While they were reported missing, Lori and her fifth husband, Chad, were off in Hawaii getting married. The world was searching for her children, and they were in La La Land having the time of their life, not seeming to care one bit. Not to mention the fact that Chad and Lori got married 2 weeks after Chad's wife, Tammy Daybell, died. During Lori's trial, there was a lot of damning evidence that was brought forward against her and against Chad. While they were off in Hawaii having a great time, the children were buried in Chad Daybell's backyard. There's so much evidence that Chad was involved that was brought out during Lori's trial. I don't know how he thinks he can swindle his way out of this. It's just astonishing to me to think of them having a great time, sunning themselves, while we know what actually happened. Nate Eaton from East Idaho News tracked them down and tried to interview them, and they seemed like they were on holiday and couldn't be bothered. Before they were arrested, the world was watching closely. They hopped from island to island. It looked like they were going to try to make a run for it. Eventually, Lori was supposed to produce the children, and she was the first one arrested. She did not waive her right to a speedy trial, so her trial came first, and now it's time for Chad's day of reckoning. You know, during her trial, it seemed like she could not help grinning and being on display for the world. The only time she seemed to really be upset was when she was found guilty. I wonder if in her delusional way, she actually thought she was going to get away with it. But, she was not happy with the conviction that came her way. I am very curious to see if Chad tries to go down the same path. His life is on the line. Will he do the same thing and just try to have an excuse to use his supposed cult leadership, that he is a religious leader, as his reasoning for all his things? Or will he try to save his own life and blame Lori for everything. She spent some time in an institution, but that wasn't enough. She could not be deemed incompetent. That is not something that Idaho has for a reason to get away with murder.
Not to mention whatever personality disorder she has. Chad, on the other hand, if I was willing to take a guess on him, I would say he knew all along. It's all a game, it's shenanigans. He does it to sell books and to get big ego and all this whole cult that he established. I don't think he believes one word of it. He knows it's all hogwash. So now he's got to fight for his life. His case starts April 1st. What's interesting is Lori has been moved from Idaho because she was in prison in Idaho after her case. But she has another trial that is pending in Arizona, and that's for the death of her fourth husband. Chad was her fifth. Her fourth husband, Charles Vallow, an attempted murder on her niece's husband, Brandon Boudreaux. At one point, their cases were going to go parallel. Her case was supposed to go to court at the 1st of April, too, but it's been postponed to August. We'll see if it even happens in August. But because of the voluminous amount of evidence. So they aren't going to be going side by side, which is actually nice because I'm covering both of them and I wanted to be able to give them each their justice they deserve. So stick with me. On Monday, we're going to see it is live stream. I'll do some recaps periodically, and I do plan to attend, not every day, but I will attend some because there's something that you get from being in the courtroom. I was in the courtroom twice for Lori's, and all I can say is when you can sit there and look at the jurors in the eye and you can see the body language of the defendant and her attorneys and everything when the cameras aren't on or when the jury's not in, there's a lot of things you can tell from that. So I definitely plan on attending his trial at some point, and I'll keep you in the loop as things come along. But there's so many people that are so happy that Chad is finally going to be held accountable for the things that he's been accused of doing. So don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video out, and I will be seeing you soon. See ya.